Kieran, why are you focused on safety from an AI perspective within your company?
So our origin at Langer Rock, I'll rattle off the Australian numbers. Apologies, I'm not sure what the New Zealand numbers are, you probably know, but in Australia, it's between 150 and 200 fatal accidents and 100,000 serious injuries in the Australian workplace every year.
Wow.
65% of those are the heavy industries broadly defined, but it's basically construction, logistics, and agriculture forestry. Of those, 65% again are being hit by a vehicle. So 2/3 of the Australian workplace fatalities are caused by being hit by a vehicle. And the majority of those are in construction and logistics. So there's a pretty clear problem here.
Yeah.
And that was our focus. This should not happen anymore. I mean, we're almost in 2024. So what can we do about this? And we went through many different things at Langer Rock. The hierarchy of controls, obviously there should not be a person and a vehicle next to each other. We all can have a good laugh and move on. That's, the real world is there are people and vehicles in proximity.
Yep.
Then we looked at passive devices. And these are things like reversing cameras, some of the new machines, 360-degree cameras. And that's great if you are looking at the camera or at the screen.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is when you're driving an excavator, it's very different than driving a car in reverse. When you're driving an excavator, you're looking out the front at the bucket. You're not looking at a screen that's down here in a different head position. Mm-hmm. And these days, they're cramming more and more screens into the cabs. So there's 10 different screens. Which one am I looking at? I don't know. And if you quietly talk to the operators, they'll tell you they don't really look at the screens that often. They're very good at their job, and their job is to look out the front and dig the hole. So how do we proactively do something about this? Notify them to look at the screen. And there are a couple of different options. There are the very expensive mining systems that are based on high precision GPS. And these are placed in all the vehicles, and they know within centimeters where they all are. And so you can do collision avoidance systems using those. So those are your CAS systems on mine sites. They don't work with people because the person doesn't have a high precision GPS system on them. Mm-hmm. And they're also expensive, so it doesn't filter down into construction and other agriculture, those sorts of industries. So your options are, you could have a radar-based system, so that's a proximity system. And that will tell you that something is 10 to 30 meters away from you. Yeah. But it won't tell you what that object is. And in heavy industries, everything is 10 to 30 meters away from you. That's just what our industry is like.
Yep.
So you just get lots of alerts, and it's annoying. The next one that people look at are tag-based systems. And this is where you would physically be wearing an RFID tag generally.
Yeah.
And you're detecting that tag from the machine. And they work actually really well in controlled environments. So underground mining and some logistics operations, because within reason, they can see through walls. And that, as I said, works really well. The downside of them is that they become logistical problems because you need to keep track of the tags. Roughly 20% of construction accidents involve the general public who would never have a tag. Mm-hmm. And we have the unique problem in heavy industries of the subcontractor model, where you've got 3 subbies in a row. They would all have to have the same tag system, otherwise their tags don't talk to different machines.
Yeah, they have to be in the same system.
Exactly. So that becomes problematic because you'd effectively have to mandate a single system across the entire country or your supply chain.
Or for one project.
Yeah, indeed. So the third option is...
That's not very uncommon, though.
It becomes increasingly problematic because the subbie might be on site for 2 weeks, a month.
Yep.
And you're saying to them, I need you to put this widget onto your machine for 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then the question is, who pays for that? And it always in construction comes back to who pays for what.
Okay, so then that's a very interesting question, right? And that would come back to who carries the most risk, and that'll come back to the main contractor.
Yes.
So why wouldn't the main contractor pay for it to improve safety standards on site?
So it logistically doesn't work because everybody starts losing tags. Yeah. And this is the exact problem that we had. So the third option is infrared. It relies on the reflection of high vis. But I obviously have a vested interest. That's why we developed this technology. The issue with those is that they are operator alerts. So they will flash a light, they will yell at the people around them, whatever alerts you want to use. It turns out the issue that we've got is we don't understand safety because we don't capture the near misses. We don't have a picture or a video of anything that's going on. So all you end up with is the fact that you have a log that says, I had a detection, yesterday. What was that? Give me a picture, give me a video, give me something that I as a person can look at and understand what's happening so I can talk to the work crews. And that was how we ended up going down this route, which is I need a system that doesn't rely on any special tags or markers, so that it just works for everything. I need it to only identify the objects that I care about, people and vehicles, for example. So I need an AI system to differentiate what those are. I need a vision-based system because at the end of it, I want a picture or a video of what on earth that thing was, so that at head office, I can sit there and figure out what's going on. And I need it connected because I'm not going to go run out and plug a USB stick into every machine every day to try and collect the data.
Okay.
So that was the sort of the path that we went down. And the only thing that solves this is the new generation of AI vision systems using neural networks, because they can do all that. And that's what's changed in the last sort of 3 years, is that there's now enough processing power to do it. So that was sort of the origin of why we do safety and how we ended up doing that. We didn't pick a cool technology and then figure out what we're going to do with it. It was actually trying to solve the problem of safety in heavy industries right from the start.
Yep, and making construction sites and the heavy machine industry a safer place to work in.
Yeah, I mean, it's our AI engineers and the entire team like knowing that we're building something that's useful, and hopefully everybody gets to go home at the end of the day.
Yeah, and everybody has a right to go home at the end of every workday.
Exactly.
Yeah, mate, that's such a cool vision, dude, and I'm excited to see what else you've got cooking in your little shop. Yeah, no, that's beautiful.